Ezrat Hashem. Pasuk Yud Aleph, right?
I have you up to
Yud,
Yud.
Yud, 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 Yud. לא, לא נבע לכסיל תענוג. It's not a good match for full pleasures. Av ki le'eved meshol besarim, and less, and even more so yet, if you have a eved, a servant that rules over a ruler, a prince. The Quran says, basically, here Shlomo Melech, pretty straightforward. He says, the ta'anugei olam hazeh, the ta'anugim, the pleasures of this world, the ta'avot, are here and given to men as tools to that the men can use to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu better. But when it's a ksil, when it's a fool that benefits from those pleasures and those desires, so those desires become for him a satisfaction like of success. It's as if it's an accomplishment. And therefore, he will see in these accomplishments an end, right? And for him, like that's it, he's on top of the world because he was able to enjoy those pleasures. By the way, this is a flaw and the mistake of a lot of people. A lot of people, they work or whatever, and they have their life is completely upside down. And they run after certain level of satisfactions of pleasures. And when they reach it, they feel that that's it. They've achieved a goal, when in reality it's nothing. It's just a tava. It's just a desire. It's just an emotion, nothing more than that. That if you have a Eved, which is disgraced, a very low level, right? The Eved is in the hierarchy of status the lowest. Moshel, suddenly he's a Moshel. He controls, or he thinks he controls princes. Or Be'emet, if he does. Yeah. Sometimes we find people that are mamash avadim arurim, and they rise to power and thinking that they can control, but in reality, it's terrible. It's terrible. To give power to a eved is to turn the entire society into avadim, because the eved thinks like an eved, so you cannot see progress. The definition of an eved is somebody that is subject to the control and the desire of of his adon, of his master, and he's not allowed to think. He's not allowed to break out, not in his actions and not in his thoughts. So the Evet can only give over whatever he gives, whatever he lim- yeah. So the Evet can only give over what he's allowed to, what he was formatted, what he was built for, what he's allowed to. So you cannot have a leader be limited like that. A leader has to see the benefit of the people and has to be progressive, growing, intelligent. So says Shlomo HaMelech, these are two misfits, pleasures to a fool and power to a Eved. Meaning, if you are limited in your mind, you cannot be a leader. And if your behavior is foolish, the pleasure will end up confusing you and distract you and eventually destroy you. Yes? Pasuk Yud Aleph. Sechel Adam he'erich apo. The sechel, the intelligence of a man, is expressed by his arachat apayim, by his forbearance. Betif'arto, and his glory, avor al pasha, is when he overlooks, yes, the pesha, the hurt, the pain, or the insult that was done to him. The Gaon connects this pasuk to a pasuk we saw in Perek Yud Dalet. Shlomo HaMelech says in Perek Yud Dalet, pasuk Yud Zayin, Ketzar apayim ya'aseh ivelet. The fool has a short temper. So here we have the flip side. Who is the intelligent person? Says Shlomo HaMelech. The intelligent person is Shelo Ya'aseh Ivelet, is the person that doesn't do foolish behavior. And what is that? What is the definition of a foolish behavior? Is to be ktsar ruach, to be short-tempered. So what is what is then the positive behavior? What is the intelligent behavior? Arachat apayim. Somebody that has forbearance, that knows how to be patient and not react so fast. And that's what Chachamim says. Sechel Adam, that's what David Shlomo HaMelech gets. Sechel Adam ha'ericha po. The more a person is patient and smart and knows how to strategize and how to let things unfold without being a fool and taking advantage of, but with chokhmah, yes, instead of being reactive, and the more he's expressing his sechel, the more he's expressing how intelligent he is. ותפארתו, and his glory, עבור al pasha. The glory is if you can, what is עבור al pasha? He can forgive. So says Shlomo, says the Gaon, we find a difference between the Erech HaPaim and over al peshav. What's the difference between the two? The one that is Ma'arich HaPaim, the one that's patient, he didn't forgive on what was done to him. It's just that he's holding on his anger and he's not letting himself be reactional. He's patient, but the pain is still there. The emotion is still there. It's just not taking over his behavior. So says Shlomo HaMelech, explains the Gaon. It's true, you express your intelligence, but you cannot be praised. You cannot praise yourself for it. You cannot praise someone for having erech hapayim. What is the real glory? Somebody that's over al pesha, somebody that knows how to be mochel, to forgive, and move on, and not let what was done to him weigh in his heart. Says Shlomo HaMelech, a man that has this quality, this person can be glorified with tiferet. Says he tiferet la'adam. This is the glory of men. Why? He says like this. כי זו המעולה בכל המידות הטובות. The greatest of all good midot, of all good traits, is what? מעביר על מידותיו. Is somebody that knows how to be mohel. Very difficult to be mohel. You can say, okay, let's move on. I'll wait. But to have a full mechila, it's very hard. And that's what Chachamim said, כל המעביר על מידותיו, מעבירים לו על כל פשעיו. There's a midah keneged midah. If you're able to forgive someone, even though the person has wronged you, and al pidin, he doesn't deserve a mechila, but you're at that level, you trigger a midah keneged midah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu now has to forgive you, even though you don't deserve to be forgiven. And more so, the midah keneged midah is so beneficial for men. Why? Because what do we say? Kol ha'ma'avir al midotav, whoever, right, is mohel, the way the Gan explains that ma'avar means he overcomes his midot. He knows how to be mohel. Listen to the continuation. It doesn't say ma'avirin lo al pesha'av. Chazal say ma'avirin lo al kol pesha'av. And we know that pesha is mered. You have het, avon, pesha. Het זה שוגג, avon זה תאווה, pesha is a mered. It's the worst level of averot, is pesha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu cleans, wipes out the koach ha-mechila that you awoke, that you expressed, with that same koach of mechila. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mohel on all your averot. Says the Gaon, Zet v'tif'arto, that's tiferet, avor al pesha. That's the glory of of an individual. Rabbi David Aluf, Yizacher Letov Shlita, told us this is also a big yesod when it comes to chinuch. What do we learn from this pasuk? That the natural course of event is that if you get hurt, if somebody hurts you, you will be angry and you'll react out of anger. That's the normal midat hadin. Somebody hurt you, you react. That's step one. But what did we see? That's the ivelet. That's the behavior of the fool. That's what we learned in Perikut Dalet. So we have to detach ourselves from that. What if the first step away from that behavior, ha'arich hapayim, erech hapayim, right? Strategy, patience, and time. That means that you're only behaving correctly when you retain your anger and you learn to be patient and let things unfold. Nachon? And then you react. The erech hapayim, it doesn't mean he's not reacting. He's just not reacting, on hot air, on hot blood. If you want to be a chassid, you want to be a tzaddik, right? You want to be glorified already. That's another ma'ala. It's called over al pesha. So says Rabbi David Aluf, from here we learn the yesod of chinuch. That when a child does something the child misbehaves, the natural course of things is to react right away and to punish. Why did you do this? Yes. But that's the behavior of an evil. Says Shlomo Melech, no, the way we're learning it now, you have to pause. You have to let your anger pass. Strategize. Patience. And it's only once there's no longer an emotion within you can you react and punish for whatever was done. And Rabbi David told us, if you write on a piece of paper what you want to do at that moment and you put it aside, and then when you're calm, yes, you reevaluate how the punishment should be, you'll never get the same answer. The difference between the two is the effort you've invested in destroying your child. If you reacted, and if you didn't react, it's what you saved your child from destruction. The delta between the two answers.
Sorry, can you repeat that last line, Rabbi? If you react right away.
If you react right away, yes, the difference there is between the way you would have reacted and the way you reacted is the level of destruction that you've done to the child. And if you didn't react right away, that the difference is what you have saved your child from destruction. Good?
Yeah, sorry. It's a very deep concept, and I'm trying to translate it in my head. I'm not. I just need a second to process.
It's simple.
Yeah, tell
It's
me,
simple.
please.
If you react, and you slap the child. You're right. Right now, okay, he deserves a slap. When you come, he deserves a talk. He deserves, you know what? I'm gonna punish him that he cannot on weekends play PlayStation. I don't know what. Okay, Chaz v'shalom for nobody has PlayStation, but if Chaz v'chalila there was PlayStation. Okay, so now comes Rabbi David and says, if you slapped, yes, whatever delta difference there is in the chinuch between, taking away the PlayStation, which will be a lesson to him, and as a slap, yes, there's a destruction factor to it that you've inflicted. And if at the end you did not slap and you took away the PlayStation, you saved him from a destruction.
The act of the slap is the destruction.
Yes. Whatever the reaction is at that moment, meaning I'll tell you even
Not necessarily a slap, it's anything.
correct. I'll tell you more. That Rabbi David told us that if a child deserves a slap in the tuches, okay, whatever patch, yes, never give it when you're angry. Wait, assess, and if it was this is what it deserves, then you give it. I'm not saying that's what needs to be done.
Shlomo Melech is talking about intelligence, using
Yes,
being sichli when it comes to your anger.
that's exactly the point. The
That's
sechel
the
is
whole
what
thing.
overrules
The whole thing is
the
circling
reaction.
around. The whole thing is circling around is sechel, sichlut,
That's right.
being sober.
That's right. Yes, yes, you could say that.
Rabbi, can if there is an incident where someone's kid is he's disrespectful or he acts not nice, you want to assess that situation, right? We want to assess the situation. Can we say, okay, well, why don't you go to your room until I think about how I'm going to handle it, or kid's free to roam around until you
No,
decide when?
no, 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 no. It depends on you. It doesn't depend on the child. It depends on how long it takes you to calm down and use your sechel. So if you can use your sechel right away, then you deal with it right away. But if you see that you're all worked up and all angry, then you can say, listen, why don't you go to your room until the father or the parent calms down, and then you can assess.
Hard. This is a hard task.
Well, that's how you save yourself from destroying a child. Yeah, Pasuk Yudbet. Naham kakefir zaaf melech. The rage, the anger of a king is like the roar of a lion, of a small lion. Uketal al esev retzono. And his favor, and when you find favor in his eyes, it's like tal, it's like dew that comes right on grass. So says the Gaon like this. He said when a person hears roaring and he's not doesn't know where it's coming from, he doesn't know how close the animal is. And he's not sure if it's a lion, but he hears those scary sounds. Right away, yes, his instinct is to start fearing. Now, he doesn't even know if he's a prey. All he hears is a sound. that sound will make him tremble, scared, and to a certain point even paralyze him. Meaning there is a scare, there is a scare out there, but you don't know if it's targeted, what the nature of the scare is, and who the subject is. And yet, a Baal Chai, somebody that has a little bit of awareness, will be very scared. He will automatically, his defense mechanism will come up, and he will be worried. He says so too is applied when there's a king and the king shows a face of anger. His court, the people that are around him, don't know why he's angry, don't know if he's angry really, and to whom he's angry, and yet everybody's going to be scared. But when he shows favor, when he shows a happy face, he says that's like a tal. This is the tal is due. The dew is always good. To the contrary of Geshem. Geshem can be good, Geshem could be bad, right? Rain can be good, but the dew is always beneficial, always good. And it never comes down in vain. It always comes and is productive. So too, the favor when the king finds is in favor of something, everybody benefits around him. Even the Esev, even the most simplest form of creation, the Esev. Says the Gaon, that's the Mashal. The Nimshal, who is the Melech? The Melech Malcha Melachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Says the Gaon like this. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu shows anger, or it translates itself into fear upon the person. Even though the person might not know if HaKadosh Baruch Hu is really angry at him, at a situation, or he's really angry. Maybe it's just HaKadosh Baruch Hu expressing that anger because he wants a reaction. And that's the reaction is like the reaction of someone that hears a lion roar. At that moment, when there is that anger that is awoken, this, says the Gaon, it awakes all the mekatregim lo alenu. It awakes all the averot, all the maasim lo tovim that the person did, that become now kitrug on the person, that want to come and hurt the person, that make the person react and confuse and make mistakes. You hear? So when a person gets a scare, Shem Yishmor, says the Gaon, it's a point of reference that there is anger bashamayim that triggered that scare. Now, if the person is scared for something that's very specific and he knows what it is, then it's not the zav, it's not the zam, it's not the zav that Shlomo Melech is talking about. The zav that Shlomo Melech is talking about is a fear that is created from an unidentified source and reason. Says the Gaon, that feeling is amplified tremendously when the person enters Gehinnom. It's a paralyzing fear, not knowing what is coming to hit that person. And that fear is part of the tikkun of the Gehinnom. However, when there is favor, and the greatest favor a person is seeing in his life, okay, or in is will be when he is in Gan Eden. He's like a tal. It's mehaye, it's mehazek, it's uplifting, soothing. There's only good and strength and positivity that come from it. And he says, Esev, the Zohar says, is referring to the neshamot of the tzaddikim. Meaning the tal, who enjoys it? Be'emet, who enjoys the favor of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the tzaddikim. And meaning the tzaddikim, they see a bracha, they see a siyata dishmaya in their life, where they can see Hashem's favor. Things happen. Things things evolve for them. Things happen for them. Things develop. There's always tehiyah. There's always talili hayim. So when a person sees the favor of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, kiviyachol is a tzaddik. But when a person gets a scare, a person needs to know that there is anger b'shamayim. And he has to be careful to do tshuva and to do heshbon nefesh, to make sure that he's not, that anger doesn't get targeted toward that person, chas v'shalom. טוב, נעמוד כאן. We can do one more. It's just I think everybody will.
The place is right up the block.
Okay, no, but yeah, I'll come back to the minute. Okay, it's fine. Just Yud pasuk Yud Gimel. Havot le'aviv ben kesil. A stupid son is a calamity to his dad, to his father. V'delef tored midyane isha.
Careful.
And the nagging of the wife, what?
Careful.
It's like endless drops of water. It's like, when water doesn't stop for dropping. So says the Gaon like this.
Water is
Why?
no?
What?
Water is bracha, no?
Yeah, but when the Japanese torture, tak, it doesn't stop. Then each drop it feels like it's like a ton of brick. But it's only a drop. So says the Gaon like this: Ben Ksil, a stupid son, why is it breaking? Why he's breaking his father? Because every time he opens his mouth, he expresses and reminds the father how stupid he is. Like it's mistake after mistake, shtuyot after shtuyot. So it's a calamity for the father. Now, v'delef tered midyane isha. Says the guy, listen, when you have when there's something bad outside at work, you come home, that's it. You left the bad behind you. You come home and you have sheket. But if you come home and all you have is a woman that nags you and that keeps on looking after, to hurt you, and יורד טיפ-טיפ כל היום, all the time, makes, like bothers you, and doesn't let you be במנוחה, there is no menucha for that person. A woman that's a nagging woman that doesn't let her husband be yeshuva da'at, the man will never see yeshuva da'at, not inside the house, not outside the house. Says the Gaon, this is medubar al isha ra'ah. Hashem yishmor. Rabbi David Elaluf said, in the name of Rav Wolbe, that this is the tikkun of Chevle Mashiach. When in Egveta de Mashiach, at the time of Mashiach, people will suffer two problems. Or they will suffer the stupidity of their kids, or they will suffer with wives that make them crazy day and night. That's the tikkun of that says Rav Wolbe of Egveta de Mashiach. So, to be continued. Beseder.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Have a good day.
Yom
Thank
Tov.
you. Bye.